Welcome back, folks. We're having a very interesting discussion on how to develop leadership skills in children with Mr. Amitabh Vyas. Amitji, the question asked was, can you give us 3 top tips in developing leadership skills in children? We've already discussed the first one. If you missed that, make sure that you watch the YouTube links that we'll post on the NTV Facebook page and on my personal Facebook page as well. So if you missed that, don't miss that. Please do take a look at that and give us your feedback. Amitji, the second tip that you said is teach them to face challenges and not problems. So what do you mean by that?
I think the word problem sets in a very negative, so you've got enormous resources inside you. When you say problem, your resource toolbox closes up.
Okay.
Because we've never been trained to sort of say, when you say problem, stand up and face it, unless you work for the military, of course. In Norman Paralance, problem means, uh-oh, because at home, you know what this is going to happen now?
Yeah, true.
You know what you're doing now? So problems have become a little bit of a negative thing for us, so we close down our resource toolbox.
True.
Challenges are the one that sound like it wants to open up your resources.
Okay.
It wants you to align them.
Okay.
Why I say this is because today when you are faced with a challenge or a problem, a normal tendency for a kid is to go onto an electronic medium, type and search a response.
True.
My suggestion to you is, how do you know that's the accurate answer?
Exactly.
How do you know that's validated? There's so much things on the internet that you don't even know it's right or wrong, right? So please don't do that. Have your own reference mechanism.
True.
When you teach your children how to face challenges, you make them internally strong, self-confident, and they have this drive that I have to do it. When you get the drive I have to do it, you've given your kids one of the strongest toolkit for survival ever after.
True.
So I think challenges is very, very important, because challenges gives you a fair sort of an exposure on all the resources that I have within me. How can I start to work them in my favor?
Perfect.
So I'm very keen on saying challenges are very important.
Exactly. I think you can directly link that to decision making as well.
Absolutely.
Because you face a challenge, you have A course of action or B course of action, and what should you choose? One of the things that I do, Amitji, is let's say it's a weekend and we have to make a decision on which restaurant to go to or which movie to go to. So I think what we can do is post the question to the kids and let them come up with their choices as well. And then together you weigh the pros and cons. You know, so you say, no, we have had Chinese last week, or let's try out all this place is too expensive or too far away. So you're probably helping them on how to make the right choices,
And one of the reasons I mentioned Dr. Edward de Bono is because he has tools that allow you to make decisions.
Okay.
Very scientifically.
True.
Like consider all factors.
Exactly.
CAF is a tool that
Exactly.
and I like that.
True.
It's really intelligent tool. So that's
exactly. We might not have time, but I remember my teacher, Mr. Jayaprakash, who taught us Malayalam in grade 8, posing a question to a group of prefects. Those days they were called house captains. He said, imagine you've studied well for your exams and it's your final exam, and you're rushing to the school to do your best. And right before the school, in a sort of deserted pathway, you find a man, a hit and run victim, no reference to our star here, but a hit and run victim there, gasping for breath. You stay back for a couple of minutes, you miss your examination. But if you just walk by, probably the person would die. What would you do? What would you do? So I think it's teachers like these who gave us these problems and heard the what ifs and the scenarios.
And this is precisely the tool that we need to use at home.
Exactly.
I just to give you a quick example, to train my children about learning how to manage the house, sometimes I used to train them by saying, I've lost the key to the house. What can we do now?
True, very true. And it's not we must not belittle what they come up with. I think they're going to climb up then.
I like that point that you make. Don't belittle them, encourage them. Every response is a great response.
Exactly.
Remember, this is just building up their own internal toolkit. That's important.
True. There's something that I do, Amitji. It's about helping them develop negotiation skills. Because I think as leaders, they have to be persuasive. They have to influence people. So I can give an example. Every time my son comes and asks me for something, I don't give a yes or no answer. I'll make a proposal and I'll give it to him, and I want him to convince me. Like yesterday, all of us wanted to go and watch a Malayalam movie, Vadakan Selfie, you know, that's a rage in town, and my son wanted to watch Avengers. So he came and said, Dad, can I watch Avengers? He had his hair spiked up and all that. And I said, no, we're going for this family movie. And I really gave him a tough time, gave him a challenge in fact, and he had to convince me why he had to go. In the end, he ended up going for Avengers anyway.
Find some very creative reasons.
I know. Amitji, the third point that you mentioned, I think this is something very close to my heart, especially one particular word. It says, help them find the passion and build character. So, could you elaborate a bit on that?
I want to say it in a very simple way. I have this discussion with a lot of kids who come to me, and I say to them, find your passion and do what your passion tells you to do. Most of us have been trained, you study the traditional linear mechanism and you will make a decent amount of living. If you want to make a fantastic living, find your passion. Passion is a way to energize your complete, your complete ecosystem, if I may say, to support in what you really believe in doing. And guess what? If there is one thing that you believe in and you follow that dream becomes a very, very strong signature of yours. Look at the paint. I was telling a student the other day, Michelangelo, for example, or take any painter, for example. Whenever they painted, right? They painted perhaps one painting and it took them like 2 months or 3 months. When they sold it out, they recouped money for their whole livelihood for a year, for example. Passion gives you that flexibility because passion comes devoid of greed.
Wow.
Passion comes devoid of greed.
I think you said it, sir.
And this is why I say passion.
I think, there's an interesting experiment where painters, they were asked to, whatever they painted because they wanted to paint it out of passion, plus whatever they painted because they were paid to do so. These two paintings were rated by anonymous independent people, and majority of the people rated the paintings that they drew from the heart as better than the ones that paid for money.
And passion will get you as money, because passion really sells.
True.
But like I said, you don't need to attach that greed to it. Just do because you like it and see how you found. You become an expert at it. You become a master at it. And that's what passion is about.
Exactly. Your heart is free. You have the courage to follow it.
I mean, look at the footballers, Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, look at the cricketers. Anybody in their profession, how many hours they have put in. You have no idea. You think the football guys are driving these fancy cars and they own these villas. Do you have any idea how many hours of efforts they have put in those harsh conditions outside? In those kind of, I know Brazil produces some of the best footballers, but do you know the reality of living in Brazil? I mean, it's not easy.
It's not just a samba dance.
It's not just, people think, I want to do that. No, it's a lot of hard work. So, passion is that key of getting insights into your ecosystem becoming self-sufficient. That's what passion is.
True. And I think it's about, when your kids are growing up, we have to be talent spotters. We have to be passion spotters. A lot of parents come to us and say, I want to know what my child is good at. And I really want to ask them, what were you doing on as well?
I'd be happy to say this, but it's you who should be spotting that.
Exactly. What are they passionate about? What is it that they do, for hours at end? What is it that they immerse themselves into completely and come up with the best output?
I think that's where parents need to spend more quality time. In discovering passions, allowing them to, also showing your passion to them. My father's a great photographer. He always, and I by default learned photography just because he knows.
True.
So passion has got a very huge magnetic effect.
It's very contagious. It's like the common cold, You sit with somebody with passion in the flight, and then you end up all for a while, for a while, probably.
I'll tell you this, Sangeet. It's quite a fascinating thing. If your mother is a good cook, invariably one of the kids will turn out to be a great cook.
True.
That passion just flows.
Exactly. It's not just the skill, it's a passion, the emotional pattern behind it. True.
It's just a...
Could you repeat what you said, passion and greed?
So passion is devoid of greed.
True. You're doing it, the motivation is very inherent. You're doing it because you want to do it.
Well, you see, what happens in a lot of families is, you must become a doctor. Why? Because you learn good money. You must become an MBA. Why? You learn good money. You are setting up a parameter for them which becomes a primary cause and not the study behind it. And then you blame the teacher saying, my kids are not doing well. You've got to take this thing off and say, find your passion, put your efforts. Forget about, monetary aspects of it. that'll happen.
True.
If you're passionate, that'll happen.
True.
So that's what I believe. Passion should always be devoid of.
True. We probably have just a few more minutes, Amitji.
Sure.
I would have loved to go on and on. The topic is just getting even more interesting. A lot of experts say that public speaking is a great opportunity for children to learn leadership.
Yes.
In a minute or two, can you tell us why? You're a very acclaimed public speaker.
Oh.
You get standing ovations wherever you go. So why so? Why? What does public speaking, standing on a platform and speaking, have to do with leadership?
I'm sharing a secret for the first time. The art of public speaking is a lot about exposing your hidden fears or inhibitions out there. It also allows you to calm yourself down. An experienced public speaker is one who has this ability to lead the people in the room towards what he's saying or doing.
True.
And that comes with a lot of experience.
True.
Public speaking is a great tool that helps you build your leadership skills, because leadership is about convincing people on what you're doing.
True.
Great leaders have convinced people.
True.
And by the way, I always strongly believe in one saying: great people, great leaders read people.
Okay.
You know, great people are the ones who have the ability to read the people.
Exactly.
And if you know how to read people, you know what to speak to them.
True.
That's where the value addition comes from.
Exactly.
And I know that you know, there's a forum called SOAR that.
True. There's a question, in fact, before, since you mentioned it. We have a query from Dr. Babu, who works in the Shifa clinic in Ajman, and he says, please suggest a good organization that trains children to make speeches well. Speaking about coincidence, so would you have?
Sure. There's some of the friends have formed it's a platform called SOAR, and SOAR is to soar high in your life.
True.
Where you just come in as a whole family, and you can experience a range of leadership skills.
True.
In a completely non-confrontational, non-competitive. I know a lot of associations who do it in a very competitive manner. They push you. But this is an art that needs to be developed delicately, gently, with a lot of positive inputs into it.
True.
So at SOAR, we meet usually once a month. Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Sangeet will share the details with you.
True.
Get in touch with us, and you'll really find this. And come and join us.
Exactly.
Don't just get in touch with us. Come along.
True.
And you will find that we are a lot of families, our spouses, our children, who come together and put in efforts in making sure that.
Exactly.
So this is a lovely platform if you want.
And it's a free platform. It's a not-for-profit organization.
Absolutely.
It's a chance for all of you, father, mother, kids, grandparents, to come together to learn and to develop leadership skills. Amitji, it was a pleasure, as always, sitting next to you. The passion is contagious. I've learned a lot. I'm sure our audience have learned as well. We would love to see you more often on the show, because it's a show that's watched by a lot of teachers and parents, and we get awesome feedback. And I'm sure I'll get a lot of wonderful feedback today.
I hope I haven't said anything to offend the teachers.
No, we didn't get into that. So I'll pass them on to you. So on behalf of all our viewers, Chanchal, Jitesh, and the NTB crew, I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much
for sparing your valuable time to be with us.
It was a pleasure being here.
Yeah, once you are in, we don't let you go. We'll probably call you again and again.
Certainly.
A lot of wonderful topics that we want to share with our young audience in particular. So thanks a lot for joining us. We will not end this discussion on developing leadership skills with this session. We'll join you after 2 weeks again with another expert in the studio, and we'll look at tips on how to pump our children up with these vital skills. Let me end it with what Amit said. It's not the external factors. It's not about the power. It's not about the fear that you evoke in people's hearts. It's not about the title. It's not about the money. It's not about the aura, the visibility, your star value, but it's about what you have in here. I think the key words that we have to take back today are character, principles, integrity, and passion. So let me leave you with that. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we will definitely meet very soon. The links would be available in a couple of days' time. You can pass it on and share it with your friends, and you can connect with me personally on Facebook, Sangeet Ibrahim, and I would be delighted to answer any queries that you have. So thanks a lot, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.